Hello, hello, and welcome everyone to the Onward VR Master League. I am your host, Monorchid, and I'm joined today by my co-caster, JamesBowk.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Hey, we're excited to be bringing you this Raptors versus Animal House matchup in Season 11, Week 13. Should be a pretty good one from these two top-tier teams. Both of them doing very well for themselves in the last few weeks, actually, even. But let's go over the bans really quick before we get any more on that subject. What do we got?
From the home team, Raptors, they have banned Suburbia, which, with Mono and I in the casting crew, is something we like to see. And from Animal House, they've banned Downfall, which makes sense against a team like Raptors, who are well known for their skill on Downfall. A couple of great snipers in that team, and some really good strategies. What do you think about the Suburbia ban, though, other than enjoyment from your side?
Well, it's an interesting ban because Raptors have actually done really well on Suburbia historically. It's a map that they know, it's a map they're really good at, but it just goes to show that some teams are just so good at certain maps that even if you're good at it, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't ban it. And that's what they've done today. Deciding, against a team like Animal House, they're just so good in the aggressive style that a map like Suburbia might just not go their way.
Yeah, it's probably a stylistic choice, because if you look at the round win percentage for Animal House this season, Suburbia's not their highest win rate. They've got a 50% round win rate on Suburbia, so they're definitely beatable on that map.
That's true, but we all know that Animal House is very good at that, and we all have, the weeks that we're not good at, or maybe you face a team that just knows how to counter your style. But Raptors going with that ban is something that I can't blame them for. Let's just say that.
Definitely. It goes into show that there's more reason than just statistics. Because if you're looking at statistics, Raptors have never lost a round on Suburbia this season. They've played 8 rounds and they've won all 8 of their rounds, versus a 50% win rate for Animal House. So there must be something else coming into play.
Absolutely, yeah. Either way, there definitely won't be Suburbia today. Won't be Downfall either. Kind of not complete polar opposites, but you're seeing a long range and you're seeing a fairly short range map up against each other. So instead, we'll be kind of duking it out in the middle. And speaking of the middle, maybe a little bit on the large side considering it's Raptors pick, but we got Quarantine, which is an interesting pick. Anytime a team does pick this map, I think that they definitely have an agenda. You don't just pick this map, you don't just be like, they're not very good at it and pick it, because this is a map that you really need to practice on, I think, more than any of the others. There's so many objectives. It's fairly new since 1.8, and we've seen a lot of different strategies come and go in the short time that we've had to play with it in the competitive style of VRML. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a very complex map. You do need to spend your time on your strategies on it. Yes, as you say, it's not just something you can jump into and rely on prowess. It's definitely a map you need to spend your time on. And speaking of middle of the map, we have the middle objective, which is we call the mall objective or the tank courtyard objective. I've heard it called other names. And it's an objective where you do see quite a few caps on it, because Vault spawn on the back side of the objective and Marsok can get control of the front side. Let's see what sort of setup comes out.
Ooh, Distorted just missed the cross going to the south. One defender will make it across in Green Theft Auto. Choosing to go for a bit more of an aggressive push there, pushing all the way up to Big Rock, and we'll just have to wait and see if he continues that push. But then we got Wicked Hex in the basement, a couple milling around in the mall area, and one just north of the mall. This should be a pretty interesting matchup here, and You see Raptors set up all across the map here. Fairly good line. 2 in the hospital in the south, 2 in the north, just looking for that aggressive flank that we know and love from a team like Animal House. And just 1 in the middle, just slowly making his way up there. He had to watch that south cross and then continue onward.
Getting someone in the south like this when on defense is, in my opinion, is quite a critical thing to do if you manage to do it. And the point there is to not over push. So Green Theft here, he just wants to exist there so that they can't push through. And by existing there, it really stops that loop around through the southeast and then onto the objective from the backside. And the most viable loop then becomes the northeast loop, which is occurring at the moment. We have Rypic way out in the northeast now.
I'm going to Canyon.
He's going to Canyon. He's going all the way around. He's hoping to get on their backside, maybe initiate a flank, go through the backside of the whatever it's called, the objective building there, and see if he can get a sneaky breaky flank on him.
There's definitely a route through here. And there's shots onto Nolamite if he notices here. Rypic should get the kill. And he decides to go for it, which is an interesting choice. He's now identified out the backside.
It's not a bad pickup, though, and he's actually, you know, being in the motel, it's so dark. It's a great defensive position. If any of the defenders try to get aggressive on him, they're in for a rough time.
Danger here is if Green Theft Auto notices this push from the backside. He does have quite a good line across the map. He is rotating now to cover that. And so Green Theft should be the one to deal with it. Silent Knight is also rotated off objective a bit to try and cover the backside.
Mm-hmm. Tough one there. Distorted slowly pushing up, but Green Theft Auto swinging around the backside, able to get a pickup onto Rypic in the same time frame. Def Redux getting a pickup as well, and
Animal House quite down. Open right here.
Yeah, smoke coming out from the likes of Distorted here. Wicked Hexo in a great position to kind of aggress back on top of him if he so desire. But Green Theft Auto going down as well. A beautiful C4 from Wicked there, able to get Distorted, just sitting on the backside of the white car. Wonderful pickup from him.
Critical pickup. They had good encirclement of the objective, the Raptors did, and without that pickup, it would have split the focus significantly. Still a big split focus. 3 out the east, 2 out the west. 2 of those being downed, 1 each side. Soldier's is going to be the pivotal person right here. Well, he probably shouldn't be the pivotal person right here because 4.5 v1. This is probably a little bit too much for Wicked.
Yeah, you can see him just running out in the open there, doing anything he can to stop the cap, and unfortunately that results in a death, but that's definitely much better than getting capped on, which when you get capped on, it gives the 2 points to the enemy. Very, very bad when you're trying to get up to 4 points in order to succeed at the map and get 1 win on the board.
You can see how the events cascaded there as well. It was all came down to Rypic getting that northeast control. So he got northeast control, he got behind, he got the pick on the Animal House player on the north street. That then split Animal House's focus. It caused Green Theft to rotate out of position so that he was watching the northeast. Green Theft did down Rypic, but during the time which he downed Rypic, VR Marksman was able to take the southeast and get behind Green Theft, and then so that just cascaded right through. They lost control of the objective, had to split their focus, and just got picked off one at a time.
Yeah, it was definitely some good movements from the likes of Raptors. Did a excellent job encircling and applying the pressure just evenly across. There was no weakness in that attack, and Animal House had to do everything they could to just try and hold it. But honestly, this middle objective is pretty hard to defend, and once
one
you
of the
start
ones
to,
I definitely prefer attacking.
yeah, once it starts to slip, once you lose a few, you just can't keep eyes on all the different crosses and places that the attackers could be coming from. And you always have to be worried about that quick center thrust for a cap or from the backside as well. So definitely not out of it yet. Tough one to get out of the way, though. And we'll just have to see what happens in this next round.
Animal House also get the favoured south gas station spawn, so they can cover the south street cross. Always preferred. Let's see what their approach is, whether they go something more direct or whether they try and encircle as well.
Nice and slow, guys. Let's get these 5 kills.
They have left Silent Night watching the cross.
Wicked Hex actually as well, watching for it. Some shots fired towards Marksman, who is now stuck in the center here. Wicked noticing this gap here, trying his best to just get into position to maybe catch Marksman, but Silent Night misses those shots as Marksman makes it across to the south, and now Marksman can take a position at the post office there. Rypek getting a pick, and Lipinski also getting a pick onto Distorted just about the same time.
It's a big push out by Distorted. He was all the way up by the northwest white car.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that one. I didn't think anybody would be so darn aggressive in the north, but guess you can be surprised sometimes, huh?
That aggression can pay off. If there hadn't been security control up there, then you could have looped behind. In this case, though, it was just a free kill for Animal House. Animal House have had a drop as well, so they're actually down to 3 players, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was about to say that. Unfortunate, when you got those drops, you just got to play it through. Make it work.
I like this control by Raptors. Maybe a little bit weak on the northeast rotation, which is maybe what Distorted was meant to be watching. So if Animal House do choose to go northeast, they could get around. But the other directions are pretty well held.
Silent Night pushing up in the south here. Marksman nearby. If Silent continues this push, maybe goes for the roof. Marksman should be able to hear it. Use that information for some callouts for his team. Or
drone.
Nope. No, I don't see any C4 on his body, but you never know. Marksman almost pushing inside there, but choosing to pull back at the last moment. Probably a good move considering that Silent Night is in position and he's in ready for any kind of push.
Good pickup by Nolamite from the north. That severely weakens their control of the north side of the objective.
Soldiers just barely missing that cross there. Lipinski and Nolamite doing a good job of staying below the ridgeline, not cresting above it, skylighting and showing their body against the background. Lipinski just slowly pushing up here, maybe trying to get a pick, while Nolamite continues his push around, trying to go around the backside, reminiscent of Raptors just last round.
Marksman and Silent Night are still dancing around each other in the hospital region. I'll update you if anything progresses there.
We'll just have to see. Marksman, Lipinski catches a view on the Soldiers, puts shots down range, can't quite get it right off the bat, and Soldiers able to get a nice tweak pick back and ends up in a trade.
That one pick is critical. Pick covered by then the smoke by Silent Night onto objective has forced rotation out by VR Marksman, who then got picked by Silent Night in the south. All up to Def Redux, going for the push out. Interesting approach. He should get picked from the far east or from the south.
Oh, he downed Silent Night. Is now
been
down
hit.
to 1v1, but Nolamite in a great position to catch that and end that one there. A good try, though, and to push out like that, being the last man up, very commendable. He knew it was a great position to be in, knowing roughly where one enemy was, possibly where the other was, but he did have good vision of the objective, so I do commend him for trying that.
Again, it came down to that lack of northeast control. Letting the attacker get around to the northeast resulted in the difference between a loss and a win that round.
Just playing it back there. Def Redux getting that pick there, just taking a look behind, see maybe if anyone was crossing, and Nolamite was already there and ready. Catches him just before Def Redux could respond, but again, just an excellent play by Def Redux to try his best to salvage that objective.
it was almost a good hold. It was closer than it should have been, I feel. I feel Animal House had good control, and then it almost slipped through their fingers there. Looking back over the whole round, as per the previous round, a quick run through of where potentially it might have gone wrong. It's probably, in my opinion, was losing that player straight away. Losing Distorted right at the start of the round in the north. That defensively, that meant they lost north control. By getting north control, they could then get a pick onto, I believe it was Rypick, who was their secondary north control person, and then it just cascaded from there. The pick on soldiers on objective resulted in a rotation by VR Marksman, who got picked on the rotation, and then it was all up to Death Redux. A little bit too much to ask against two players on that objective. Animal House did lose a player during the round as well, so impressive that they were able to get that win.
Definitely so. Let's jump into round 3 here. It's about to cook off between Animal House and Raptors. Tied up 1-1. Good start to any match. Always fun to see these teams going neck to neck and trading points there. It's just who will be able to continue that push, get the momentum, and just push forward.
Another stressful defensive objective, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
The fuselage one, especially on the league build where you can still cap from outside this north side of the fuselage here. Very hard to defend. Come down to where the first picks come from and whether they can hold their lines extended from the objective. If you do lose key lines, then the attackers can get behind and onto the objective and force those rotations. Speaking of attacking, looks like Raptors have gone for hospital control with 3 players, and they have a couple looping wide around the map to try and get north control eventually, I believe.
Going to be a tough one. Animal House has had plenty of time to get excellent defensive positions. They're all where they want to be. They're watching the angles that they have planned. And, I mean, some of these positions, too, I'm thinking like Lipinski over in Tank Courtyard. An excellent position to just ambush any players that get too cocky on their approach.
I have to see where that pick was. Into a gas station, great pick. I feel like he didn't need to look into hospital from there with Green Theft Auto and burning top floor, able to watch the cross. Green Theft is now rotated out downstairs burning. I feel like that pick was unnecessary on the defensive side, but very fortunate for the attacking side.
Right. It just it only takes one little opening to really make it difficult for any team to defend an objective. And that said, Nolamite has a great position on the plane, just watching across, catching any of those players that do choose to cross towards that new opening in the gas station. And
slightly
also
offset from the position you often see played on this plane, which is tucked into that little wing corner. He's a little bit exposed to the north, so if north goes down, he will need to move. But other than that, it's great south control from this location.
definitely the case here. The north continues to push up, about to the tank now with Rypick. Marksman not too far behind with that long scope, I'm sure he has. But Wicked behind the green box, while a common spot, is still a powerful spot. Even if you know that they're there, if you don't get a good grenade off on there, it's going to be hard to fight him, as you will be in the open and he will be more or less behind cover.
Very hard spot to deal with. I'm trying to think what the best approach would be. Probably the northeast corner of the roof, sort of coming up there and watching across, but you're at the time where you would be clearing that crate. Rypick's just going for the direct approach, and that works as well, apparently.
He does what he wants, man.
I was going to say, you don't want to cross through this massive open area to do it. Oh, apparently you do.
Oh, okay. Whatever then. Lipinski now moving on the backside of the
Marksman hit him.
Just gets caught by Marksman right before you can come around the corner there and apply pressure to Rypick.
The objective is now very open. Rypick is pushing in from the north side. As I said, Nolamite has been picked from the north. That's where he was exposed to. So just all up to Green Theft, who
Oh
is now...
my. Everyone's
Wow.
just dying. And
That turned around so quickly.
what do you think of that round?
Give me this one where you want my analysis. I think losing that first player obviously didn't help. It so often comes down to losing that first player. That's a theme of the round so far. That weakened their south. Enforced rotation out of Green Theft. But the north, yeah, it was just that push by Rypic onto that northern defender was critical. Brave potentially could have, in any other situation, may have been shot in the open by someone in a white car or something, but it worked. He got the pick. At that forced rotation by Flipinski, who got picked. Then Nolamite didn't have cover from the north. He got picked. And then it was just all up to Green Theft in Burning. So, again, cascading collapse, which is potentially one of the downsides of a more extended defense like this. Less ability to shore up when you do lose a location.
I think there's something to say for a bit of technical aggression there. Rypic's push was a little bit wild at the start, but by doing that, throwing him off guard there, able to take that green container, he had full control of the north, and from there he was able to just get pick after pick and apply that pressure and take out these really hard positions like that plane position. You got the cover of the fuselage of the plane when you're looking over and across to the south, but he was just able to come from behind and just get a beautiful shot on the rear side and just totally open it up for his team.
Yeah, I think that the main thing is that each of the locations, whilst extending from defense, can be really good. They didn't have anyone to back them up rapidly, so there wasn't anyone to swing on and get a refrag or know whether they can stop the attackers getting around that line. So if they had someone to protect the person Rypic killed, sorry, I don't remember who it was, in the north, that could have changed it significantly. Like someone in VR Marksman's position right now, as a secondary. So they're sending Rypic up into the northwest, and they got VR Marksman there as well. They're in locations which can support each other, more than just being individuals.
Now look at this attack we got. This reminds me of old Quarantine a lot. We got a lot of players going north here. Very heavy push. Marksman up on the side of the roof building. Rypic on the green container here. Shots fired towards Nolamite. Able to pull him down before he could make use of that flash. Marksman, though, giving his position away and is now being completely swarmed by the remainder of Animal House here. Everyone has eyes on his positions, and I think he has an idea of that too as a frag is deployed, trying to catch any of those quick rushers, but just a little too early on that one.
The exact scenario which could have occurred last round.
Ooh.
Yet the first...
Oh,
wow,
a beautiful
grenade
popping around the corner there, bouncing off the wall, grabbing Silent Knight. He will get picked up, but his body armor will be shredded. His health, it will be low. An excellent grenade, and I cannot fault him for that one.
Does body armor get eliminated by nades?
Maybe I misspoke. I'm not sure exactly if it does, but you at least get wounded really, really hard. So you might as well have lost some of your body armor, right?
I'm going to test that one. Sounds like a great thing to test.
Rypic here, just getting in all sorts of confrontations here. Everyone needs to take him out as that's such a pivotal position. Silent Knight trying the move that Rypic tried last round, but Rypic was ready for that move, able to get that pickup. And continues to defend the north here, and now Green Theft Auto here is having to hold tight, but gets rewarded for it as he is able to pick up Rypic, as he does do a bit up too much of a peek there. It was just too tempting to not peek.
Big thing there would just not die rather than overexposing the Rypic. It's such a great location, really hard for the attackers to deal with. They tried to deal with him with two people rushing in, and both had died. Now the north is a bit more open, and the defense is definitely south stacked. VR Marksman really being the only one who can control that push through impact building now.
I just want to take a quick moment to talk about VR Marksman's current position here. Sitting inside the crash building, but at the beginning of the round, we saw him on the west side of the roof there, defending kind of a quick line, trying to get those picks, but deciding to pull back after he got that pick and caused that disruption. And now he's in a new defensive position and an ambush position at that, trying to catch anybody that comes around the backside. But by doing that, he's just going to keep the attacking team guessing. And you can already see here that they don't really have the same momentum they had before. Lipinski is still sitting on the far north wall there, unsure if he can push up, and also being completely alone here as Green Theft Auto had to pull back and come down a different way. Marksman did his job. He got the pick, he stopped them, he disrupted them, and he moved on.
Yeah, Lipinski is he's trying to use that crack to see whether Marksman is still in that location. But he's wasting a lot of time before he pushes across. I just heard him say that you should try and time the attack for 1:30, so expect something in about 25 seconds.
He better start running really fast. If he wants to clear anything and also be doing a timing attack on the objective, he's got a bit of distance to pull.
I imagine he's going to start running from that location in 7 seconds.
Got some utility being thrown from the likes of soldiers out onto the street. No one there, but grenades thrown anyway.
Green Theft's line along the street could be good. He just doesn't have enough time. So Def Redux will hear him coming because he will have to run, or Distorted will, unfortunately.
Maybe all he has to do is distract. Oh, well, Lipinski and Distorted trade. I was about to say all Green Theft Auto has to do is distract for Lipinski's push, but with Lipinski down, Green Theft's going to have to go a little bit more aggro here. Some utility being thrown, smokes being deployed onto Burning here. Distorted and Redux, though, in a great position to combat any push from Green Theft. He's going to have to deal with them or he's going to get shot in the back. Let's see what his final thoughts are.
And they were indeed final thoughts. Good hold by Raptors.
Redux and Distorted, they just keep talking. They're like, I don't care. I'm just going to keep talking about what we were doing.
Great hold. The key difference there, as I talked about at the end of the last round, the key difference was having positions which supported each other. So rather than the player being able to push onto right pick at the start of the round, VR Marksman was there to support him. And there was inverse support as well, so Rypick was able to support VR Marksman. When they tried to push onto Marksman, Rypick was able to put a grenade onto that location and down a player. So just the difference there between defensive styles, more individualistic versus supporting positions.
Yeah, and I think that the North is just such an excellent position to have that kind of teamwork approach. The green container with almost any other position just works so well together. There's so much dead space that the attackers have to run along in order to aggress any of those players. I think the real only counter to that is something like your grenade. I mean, with smokes, you can't cover enough ground. A good flash can kind of make up for a grenade as well, but you have very limited time to push that advantage. And we saw what happened there when the flash was deployed. Green container was neutralized for a short time by that flash, but the covering fire was able to get a good line on there and keep him from dying. And he just got to continue pushing on and working as well as he did until he peaked early. That was this round, wasn't it?
Yeah. The previous round, the direct push went unchallenged, and Rypick was actually able to kill the person on green container immediately, which collapsed their north. This round there was the cover. It's interesting because you're seeing on all of the attacks we're seeing, and we've gone into the next round. I won't say too much more about the previous rounds, but all the attacks we've seen similar approaches from both the teams and similar defenses, but just like the slight differences in defense result in quite different results. If you want to get what I'm saying. Again, they've gone with a couple of individual positions. So Silent Knight on defense being quite pushed out into probably quite a good line across. And then we've got one way pushed out in the north. Nolamite pushed way out in the north. Potentially also going for the green container. But they're very individual positions. And this time Wicket Hex has taken Nolamite's previous position, overwatching the objective.
Look at this battle line from the offense in Raptors. We got basically a full team stack going straight down the map. 3 in the south, 2 in the top. Far apart, but still working together. And that's, I think, especially key on a map like Quarantine. You need those angles. You need to come from different approaches. And Lipinski getting a pickup on Distorted will be the first pick of this round. A good start for Animal House. More shots ringing out there, just shooting at the corner, trying to keep their heads down, but Def has already made it across. Soldiers just in a position to maybe try and get some picks onto Lipinski if he continues to peek and move around the Burning Rebel position here, or maybe in Green Theft Auto as well. Meanwhile, up in the north here, we have Rypick and Marksman pushing up there. Nolamite choosing to stay in the far northwest, not pushing up to the green container, but instead trying to catch any players coming along through the north side of the wall. Maybe they were going to deploy a grenade, and he's in a good position to just counter that right off the bat. A bit of kind of quick thinking, I'd say, choosing to change up your position in order to counter how the game has been played so far.
Ooh, has he spotted Rypick here? I think he has. Yes. Is the answer to that one.
Nolamite
now aware of Nolamite's position. However, Nolamite looks like he's going to rotate back.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the south here, Dev, Redux, and Soldiers have continued their push. Soldiers making it across the street there. A-OK, and they're just going to continue their push there. Going really, really cautiously, I'm going to say. Dev, Redux basically crouched this whole game, making sure no one catches his head unawares. And from the hospital, might be able to get a few picks onto Burning if they do a cheeky peek from the roof.
The weakness currently on this defense is if VR Marksman goes roof courtyard. Nolamite now might be rotating to cover it, but previously there was a roof courtyard push where you could pretty much get onto objective without getting spotted. Roof courtyard, through the fuselage, onto objective. No real defense for that. Nolamite might have that covered now, but just something which from caster view we can notice.
We definitely see some pushes there. Marksman doing his best to just watch and look around for anybody in the north, catch that player that was defending there. But Nolamite, like you said, have moved on to watch that gap in the defense. And instead, Marksman is just wasting time, but he doesn't know it. And 2 minutes left on the clock. It's not much time to clear all those corners and get into position there. Def Redux now making onto the roof, quickly getting around the backside in order to take the engagement how he wants to. But Green Theft Auto has an idea of where they could be here, doing a little bit of a peek up there just at the wrong time. And now Def Redux was in a position to use that to his advantage, but pulls immediately down there. Marksman getting Lipinski in the burning second story, but not enough to finish him there. And Green Theft Auto here should be able to get that res.
Get down. Kneel. Get down.
Revive comes out. Raptors quickly running out of time. Minute 20 left on the clock, and a lot of good defensive positions from these players. And a flurry of combat comes out. Def Redux only down here. Soldiers should be able to get this revive, especially getting that pick onto Wicked Hex there, all the way up there on the roof. And now it's anyone's game, but only a minute left.
Awesome rotations here, and this could flip the whole round on its head. 20 seconds ago, if you'd asked me, I would have said this is in the bag for Animal House. Now it's looking like it's definitely in the bag for Raptors would be my money.
Look at Lipinski, one pick on that aggressive rotation here, pushing back onto objective, desperately trying to keep it under control, and Nolamite able to get that pickup on the soldiers, bring this down to a 1v2. Marksman gonna have to do some serious work here in less than 30 seconds in order to win this round. Lipinski catching vision of Marksman there, and now his position is known. The smoke is out, but there is no time to really make any sneaky plays there as Nolamite moves around the backside trying to get a pick from the backside, but instead coming around the front, able to defend the objective there and bringing this to a 3-2.
Great scramble hold, but it should have been shut down by Raptors in my opinion. The Raptors tried to push in after getting three picks. Instead of waiting for the rotations to come out, they went straight into the push phase. If they just waited, there could have been a good pick there, or even the last two picks. They got caught out as they were trying to push onto objective by the collapsing defenders. Really turned it around. That round that swung both ways very quickly. Looked like Animal House had it completely locked down with 5 up against 3 attackers. Then it went to 3-2 up for Raptors, and then back the last 2 on Animal House managed to stay alive and pick off the last 3 attackers. There were definitely some holes though in that one.
I think pushing back to the attack from Raptors there, I think it was the clock. I think that they were scared of the clock. They had like 30 or 40 seconds at the time right around the time they got all those picks, and they felt the pressure. They went in for it. Same time the Animal House was feeling the pressure of the objective being fairly open, and it just happened to go Animal House's way. That push from Lipinski just straight down the road, just, hey guys, I'm here and I'm gonna shoot you down. Able to get that lull in there, just what they needed in order to close that round out, get the defenders ready to go and around the objectives. So well played from Animal House, bringing that one back.
We've had a lot of attacking wins on this map so far, and the key difference there was the defenders did not lose a person early. On all of the other defenses, there's been a defender loss early, all the ones I can remember at least, and the attack has capitalized on that. There was no early loss of defense. The attack then had to take their time a lot more clearing. They couldn't, go through a weakness. And yeah, as you say, the clock just ended up playing a large part.
Look at this battle group coming out. A 4-man strong group coming through the north, going towards the west. No aggressive push from the defenders to the north in this match. But we're going to have to see what comes of this. Def Redux should be able to hear this movement from Nolamite any moment now as Nolo continues this quick push into the building, and they're in the house. They're in the building. And Def Redux is in a great position to try and get kind of the sneaky pick here. I've been seeing it already once this game from the likes of Raptors.
And also potentially an encounter coming up on the east side of the roof between Rypik and Flipinski. Not sure which way to watch right now. Oh, we chose the wrong way. Oh, wow. Definitely chose the wrong way. Def Redux picking up 2 there. Great defense. Let's see if he rotates back out to a more compressed location.
Def Redux definitely feeling good right now, getting those 2 picks, bringing Animal House down to 3, and going to be tough for them to continue this push. And Rypik pushing out, able to get Lipinski as soldiers firing in the back there. Green going down as well to Def Redux, who is going on a tear now, running around the backside, actually holding position here.
Wicked's actually found a hole, though Rypik should get him here. Yeah. If Wicked had gone through the building, through Impact Building, Def Redux had rotated off, and there was a line onto objective from there. A line which potentially could have gotten shut before he got there, but there was a way he could have gotten through.
A tough one for Animal House there. Yeah, a tough one there. Shut down by the likes of Raptors, who had an excellent defense. Good, especially by Def Redux doing an excellent job there of staying in hiding, staying quiet, getting that pick across early, actually. He got that pick across first and then popping around, knowing that there was someone in there with him, and able to stop that push from coming out to get that repick, and just going on a tear from there. Definitely some
Like we
good
might have
play.
a lobby rehost.
Got it, got it. We're going to jump into a quick intermission, guys, as we get this sorted. We'll be back in the action soon enough, so stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. We are back here into the second map here of this series, Animal House versus Raptors. Tough matchup, a fun matchup. We'll be moving right on over to Bazaar as our second map. This is Animal House's choice. Definitely not a surprise for me. What do you think, James?
Yeah, definitely not a surprise. You're going to see, hopefully, a bit of aggression out of Animal House, which should pay off on this map a little bit more than Quarantine. And really interested to see their timed attacks onto objective. They're a team which can cap really well, so Raptors will need to be ready for that, definitely. Stats-wise, I have not looked up stats for this. I will pull some up if you want to. What are your thoughts on this objective to start then, Mono? The West objective.
So this West objective, I think this is more of one that Raptors are going to like to see. I think Animal House definitely does really, really well in a one like Kiot or the East objective. I've seen some downright dirty pushes from them where they just obliterate the enemy team and just the most perfect aggression you've ever seen. But on this Western one, Raptors should be able to get some good defensive positions, cover their lines, and maybe stop this Animal House aggression cold. But we're just going to have to see if they're going to be able to do that, because Animal House are a beast on this map. I think, you know, just going off of my own instinct here, I think this is probably their best map.
This is, in my opinion, this is definitely an objective where you can smoke locations and force rotations by the defense, which are probably what I'd expect to see from Animal House. So I think definitely aggression on this objective can pay off as well. Yeah, the Kiot, obviously Kiot is a very, very capital objective, but I think this one is as well. Lots of bizarre objectives are, to be fair.
I think
in terms
they're
of,
just
in terms
all
of
capable,
stats,
man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Is there a harder to cap objective on Bazaar? Tank, the new tank objective, maybe.
Yeah. That unless the defense kind of screws up there, you have the most beautiful, effective distraction. The tank is pretty hard to cap most times. Usually, it ends up in a team wipe. If the attackers are going to win on that one. But other than that one, maybe the southeast courtyard, another new objective as well.
You can see the attackers can often get really close, and you see a lot of smoke caps on that one.
Yeah. I don't think it's, you basically need the smoke to cap in that one. There's not much cover from a competent defending team that has good angles on that objective. Again, the southeast. So yeah, I think this is exactly what Raptors were probably hoping for. But it's funny that we say that, and saying that we think it's one of the more defendable ones, considering that you can cap inside the building next to it, you can cap around the objective, around the corner, in the little courtyard behind that building. There's just like a ton of good cap spots. This is definitely one of those maps that favors those aggressive teams and teams that can push, create distraction, and get their capper on the objective. Once they do, it's off and over.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where we say it's more defendable because you can, with two defenders, you can hold all the lines to the objective. Whereas there are other objectives where if you only have two defenders up, so it's late in the round, it's much harder to hold those lines, or the attackers are able to get much closer to the objective before you have holding lines. On this one, you can hold lines which are offset enough from the objective to give time for the other defender to rotate if in appropriate location. But it does require a lot of communication and coordination on the defensive side. Stats-wise, I was gonna do some stats on it, as we've had a few people drop out of this lobby. For Raptors, they've played this map 5 times this season, and they've only won it twice with a 41% round win rate. And for Animal House, they've played this map 3 times and won it twice with a 67% round win rate. So slightly in favour of Animal House, potentially one of the other reasons why they picked it.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a map that Animal House is comfortable with, will do well. But we're going to jump into the intermission again here. We actually have word that Animal House taking their first time out here. Hopefully we'll be back in the action sooner than you hope. But sometimes you just need a little time to get things sorted. So stick with us here. We'll be back after the timeout, and we're going to see some explosive action between these two teams.
VRware. Our passion is for the
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're getting started here. Map 2, Animal House versus Raptors. See who comes out on top here. Raptors up 1 map, but don't count Animal House out yet. They are on a map that they know, they love, and are ready to rumble here. Playing it
There's a
casual
bit of
as
that-
I say that.
Yeah, there's a bit of that aggression-ish from Animal House. They have pushed out to the north and the south rapidly to start. They'll probably slow down now and start to clear their way through. But getting that 3-2 split, 3 north, 2 south. Good to pincer on this objective. Defensive-wise, nothing too unusual here. Maybe Rypik's position being the most unusual, the rest being quite common locations.
Meanwhile, in the south, we got 2 who have pushed up, are in position to create some havoc, maybe get a pick on a right pick if they just choose to pre-fire that shed. Their eyes are on it like a hawk, but not seeing right pick behind that wood could spell doom for them if they continue this push without clearing it. Meanwhile,
Raptors have elected to pretty much give the north away. They're not able to attack along the north, but Death Redux does have a line watching this cross, which Green Theft is just about to come up onto.
and even if he just catches that cross but doesn't get him, Marksman can quickly rotate. Speaking of Def Redux getting that pick onto Green as he tries to sneak out and across, but Def has an eye on it, will be able to catch it, gets that confirm. Now Steven's going to have to just take a moment to think about his choice here. Is he going to run into the same line here, or is he going to come from a different way? Lipinski getting a pick. Grenade coming out, but just narrowly missing Steven there. Just a little too short, getting caught by the sidewalk there. Unfortunate for him. Steven trading fire with Def, but comes out behind when facing against Def Redux. Distorted also taking some shots there. Maybe shooting at a friendly? I'm not sure on that one. But the north, the south, looking a little tight. If Distorted goes down or his vision is blocked by some smoke, as we're seeing here, it could be pretty tough for them to defend here, and Def Redux is forced to rotate back. Silent Knight here in a gunfight with Distorted here, just trying to sneak around, deal with all this aggression here, but not able to kind of make an impact soon enough before his team went in on the south, and we're stopped by the Raptors.
Wow, a lot happened there.
Just trying to chase them down, like what's going on? Everyone's going in, so much going on, like you said. But I thought the Animal House had a pretty good push in there. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was just that loss of the north on that cross. I feel like utility could have been used by Green Theft. It's Def Redux's early position, looking through that window to catch him, is not an uncommon one. His exact position is a little bit uncommon, but having someone in that location is relatively common. So using smokes before you try and attempt this last cross is worth doing. If you do get that north control and attack, it's really hard for the defenders to deal with. The fact they shut it down meant that the defense could deal with the north and then deal with the south rather than having to deal with them at the same time. The push almost occurred correctly. They did get people into the south market area, the market just near the objective, but the collapse from the defense was well timed. Obviously, resulted in the win for the Raptors on defense. So just minor things, minor adjustments, and other than that, I think Animal House did have a really, really good attack. Just didn't quite go their way today.
What's interesting, though, is that a lot of teams wouldn't do that rotation that we saw from Raptors. They got that pick on the south, they took out right pick, they moved up through the market, or they started to move towards the market, and at the same time, the north push was creating a lot of ruckus. But Raptors were able to pull back and defend it. If they didn't rotate, I think they even rotated 2 back. If they didn't do that, I think Animal House was in a great position to overwhelm the objective and go for a cap there.
The rotation was critical. And were those defensive flashes coming out?
I didn't
There's so
catch
much
that,
going on.
yeah.
There were flashes going off and stuff, and I feel like they might have been from the defense to really stop that push through that that west market.
We're
Attacking.
quickly
They got
running into round
the
2 here.
south wall.
Yeah, they got southeast or something, or south. I don't even. I didn't even
Yeah,
catch
that's it.
exactly where it was there, but
They got the southeast spawn, which there's 2 spawns on this map. There's one down the southeast and one by the tank for Marsok. The defense on Animal House is a little bit more pushed out than the Raptors defense. You got people trying to hold slightly longer lines on defense. Green Theft has been identified from the south, which is going to make his job a lot harder. Soldiers moving in position to try and deal with it underneath the red car.
signature soldiers move. Looking under the car, they're using that young spry energy. Go prone on the floor and try and get those picks there. We'll just have to see if he's able to make that one out. Meanwhile, Wicked getting a pick onto Marksman, and just like that, Raptors down to 4. Would you go prone like this?
Oh man, this is getting back up, which is the problem.
Go down prone and never get up again.
It's like the north stairs when I prone down north stairs on Subway. You hear me when I get back up, and it gives away the point at which I'm going for objective.
Distorted pushing in here. Lots of smokes being deployed by the likes of Raptors here, opening up a possible push in from the south, but at the same time, Distorted coming in this west courtyard here, able to contest a silent hold and Stevens hold on this objective here. Shots being fired from soldiers and the south, taking out Green Theft Auto and opening up a possibility for a push on the
Huge
objectives
hole.
here. Yeah,
Will we
only
see the
Lipinski.
same collapse? Lipinski is only half collapsed onto objective. He's holding a line through the market. It is held. It's not the same
Ooh.
aggressive collapse.
Distorted
pick.
getting a pick onto Silent just as he gets through the building. And now Soldiers taking out Lipinski. Distorted getting a nice shot at the same time. Distorted trying to push across towards the objective. And Steven
Could be a cap.
desperately trying to get back to objective to stop this push. And Rypick running out with his tablet out. He is going for the cap. He is single-minded on this possible cap. He's got the tablet out. He's putting in the code. Just waiting for Steven to run up here. Can't quite get it in. And Steven able to stop that cap. Soldiers not able to get that pick. And now running across trying to get Steven as he desperately goes for the second possible capper, not able to quite get it, and running across desperately. Def Redux now running in, going for his own cap inside the building. Steven just stops the cap there. A desperate attempt. Very well done by Steven to not get capped on there. Wow, what a beautiful play.
You could see that Raptors had cap on their mind, almost to a fault. It almost cost them. If Steven had got a clean kill on Def, it would have been a 1v1. 1v1 on that objective comes down a lot more to luck. I feel there probably should have been a cap there, maybe. Hesitant to say mono cap, as I don't have a time on it, but he was definitely there for a prolonged period of time. I felt like Soldiers potentially could have gone for the cap at the same time. It looked like he was defending the Kappa, but not actually defending the Kappa. If he just pushed north and come into the building to go for a parallel cap, I feel like they would have got it. It's always easy in hindsight. Raptors did come out with the win, which is ultimately what you want, but I think they definitely had a chance to get a cap on Steven. The rotation back to objective just took a little bit too long initially. He was waiting for a pick out east. And then it just took him a little bit too long to get across. There should have probably been a cap there, offensively.
Yeah. Soldiers is like, you got this, bro. I'm gonna just sit here and wait for you to get that cap there. But then again, just trying to give your teammate the maximum possible time to get that cap in. It could just be the last millisecond they needed to get the cap off, but sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. I can hear it in the tent
right now. I just had to press the send button.
I can't believe this. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there. But
So they've got the quick spawn Animal House, which will play into potentially how they might want to attack this. Hopefully, please. Quick attack. Come on.
this is something we've seen from Animal House. This is their objective. Let's see how it plays out.
We're going to see some counter aggression potentially at South Cross. No, just some pre-fire from Marksman.
Got my hopes up. Let's see. Nobody really going through the center here. Wicked, Green Theft, Steven and Lipinski all sitting on the North Street here trying to catch any defensive rotation, but not able to quite get it. Silent here. I missed his name there. Getting a little aggressive there, able to trade with soldiers. Neither team going to be know that trade happened, and everyone's going to be playing a little bit in the dark here. A lot of smoke being deployed.
Defensive setup and the north. I'm trying to see how they've got it held. They've got lines which can hold the north, but if they smoke it and come in more heavily from the north side, it will force the rotations out of the defense, which could get capitalized upon.
Green Theft starting his push into the building right next to objective here, staying low, staying quiet, trying to get some picks here.
Puts a couple of shots into a location which can be often occupied, gives away his location. But
you're always going to expect someone there, though, too.
He's going to be ready for Distorted. Yes, he is.
What a pick onto Distorted through the window. A quick peek there. He's now close to objective. They control this building. We're going to have to see some kind of rotations from Raptors here. Smoke coming out on objective, and I think this is what everyone's been waiting for. The possible cap coming out
Redux
here.
Needs to be moving.
Right pick quickly rotating onto the point here, trying his best to stop this cap, and Animal House just running around him, keeping him guessing constantly as the smoke ticks down here. Raptors down to the one.
In a location which is not identified. Ooh. The cap is coming out from Wicked.
He is capping.
Rypick is doing too good work. He's doing too good work.
Oh no. Will Wicked gets it, tying it back to a 2-2. That's the cap we were waiting for. Lipinski's just celebrating over here on the East Street there. What a wonderful cap from the likes of Green Theft Auto. Let's see if I caught that one there. No, just a little too late there. Good cap, though. Good cap.
A case where the milliseconds went in the attacker's favor there. Wasn't the quickest cap, but Rypick just unfortunately did a little bit too much work as the last defender, taking out 2 attackers rather than trading or dying. And ultimately, instead of losing 1 point, losing 2. Evening the match.
Sometimes comes down to it, yeah. Yeah, this is anyone's game. Animal House definitely could take this cap momentum and push forward. I don't think that there's almost anything in this game that's as demoralizing as getting capped on.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to think. No, and the worst thing now is, for Raptors at least, is Animal House now have bulk advantage on their own map pick.
I'll tell you what, these teams that play aggressively, they also tend to know how to defend against an aggressive push. So we're going to have to see. Raptors definitely isn't a team that's bad at an offensive push, but I'm thinking that we're going to see something a little bit more slow, a little bit more measured. Definitely we saw a lot of aggression from the likes of Animal House near the end of that round. A good slow start in the north, just trying to get those picks, push up into position, but once they did, able to really capitalize on it, use that smoke, use that confusion, and just really keep Rypick out and away from objective just long enough for the cap to come out.
Very good dying by the attackers there.
Excellent dying. Excellent indeed. That's a skill that people don't think about, but is very critical. Can't think about your own KDR when you got a cap on cap opportunity happening in real time. Animal House still
spread on the attack here. It's interesting. You can see how VR Marksman went and shot the South Street on defense, and now they're attacking the South Street on attack. So you end up defending against locations you might end up going yourself, because you think people think like you. Just a little side note right there.
A little
Defensively-
bit of psychology.
Yeah, yeah, massively overanalyzing everything. What? I like this spot from Wicked Hex. It's his location.
I was about to ask you what you thought, actually.
It's a location we've actually talked about, using one of these two little alcoves and then watching this tight line from that location is something we talked about internally in Mayhem, and it does have some benefits. I haven't seen it used very often, but
Okay.
if you do get identified there, you're pretty stuck. There's not much you can do.
Yeah.
You want some smoke or something.
Yeah, let's jump back there and see what happens here. Right pick kind of getting close to the kill box here. A lot to deal with from these teams here. Soldiers taking residence in the Kiot building, a good staging location for an attacking team to be. Catch those defensive flanks and just control the battlefield. Wicked able to get a pick onto Def Redux here. Right pick very, very close, and Wicked should have heard that, but the gunfire might have stopped him here. Just waiting for that push, but not able to stop Right pick as he comes around the corner there.
Through a wall like this. Are you kidding me?
Even engaging in the south as well, across in the eastern region.
What a good
He
position
has
from Steven.
identified the cross of Distorted. I'm not sure if he saw VR Marksman as well. That is a tight line he has there.
And it's really hard to see. He's in the darkness. He has partial cover from the shack, not complete cover. But it is a powerful position for a defender to be in. And just knowing that he was there will keep Marksman and Distorted guessing, wondering if their back is going to be attacked at any moment.
He has been forced to rotate because they did lose that defender in the north, though. So it's going to come down to who sees whom first between Rypick and Steven. Rypick
Yeah.
probably not expecting someone there because he's cleared it already. So this movement by Steven could be successful.
I think he's just going to go for a more direct push in here. Flash coming out on objective. Another utility coming out. Another flash. Possibly caught Silent Night, but I don't think so. Just hoping to catch any player rotating out in the open, and almost catches Silent Night there.
Behind us.
Marksman catching the likes of Steven as he pushes across there. Not able to get him, but enough to maybe distract him there. Flashes coming out Distorted, and Marksman trying to deal with that. Right pick getting a pick onto objective. Soldiers going down at the same time. Steven doing his best to stop this push from Marksman and Distorted, but not able to do so. Ooh, Right pick and Lipinski going down. Both players down. Who will get res first? Nobody. The answer is nobody. I think I heard Lipinski say help there at the end. Help.
Wow. Right.
What happened?
I got one thing there in the analysis which I want to highlight. I feel there was one point where a little bit of communication could have changed the outcome, potentially. Obviously, other things could have occurred. But Silent Night, on objective, was receiving flashes from the north alley. Steven was in a location where he could have taken 2 steps and taken out Rypick in the north. If Silent Night had just communicated they've flashed from the north or they're coming from the north, then Steven could have taken those 2 steps, taken out Rypick, would have left Silent Night alive on objective. Steven probably then wouldn't have had to do his rotation back to objective, which caused him to get picked as well. I feel like that was probably what I'd highlight as being the pivotal moment in the round, potentially caused by a lack of communication, but it's also really hard to communicate when you have someone that close to you chucking flashes onto you.
Right, yeah, and we know that at any point while you're doing that call out, they could jump around the corner, get shots on. And not to mention that the position that Silent Night was in is a very dangerous one. They can come from his backside, they can come from his side very, very quickly, and you will not know until they're already up, running, and coming through the door. So I can definitely see why he wanted to stay quiet. But like you said, it was quite pivotal in that last round.
They also had Lipinski and Green Theft in that region as well, who could have made the call out potentially, and less of a immediate danger location. We do have one of the new objectives, the tank objective. We talked about as being one of the less capable ones. So Raptors will know that. They will know that Animal House are on 2 points, so they will be saying anything but cap, I imagine. Animal House have
Smoke's coming
successfully
out.
crossed the northeast. No, they haven't. I said
Nope,
too early.
not quite. We had a gap in the smoke coverage there. All smoke's going long. Very, very unfortunate for these attackers, as not going to be easy to get this cross anymore. That spot that we're seeing from Distorted, kind of in that blue room, very, very common, very powerful, and hard to counter except with smoke.
You can't see someone in there. You can pre-fire it. Pre-fire can be successful. You just dump rounds into it and hope that you got someone. Otherwise, yeah, the smokes need to be on point. Definitely. Big pick from Wicked onto Rye. Pick on the main street. Trying to see where that occurred from.
Yeah, he got real aggressive there. Ooh, Soldier's just missing the cross from Green Theft Auto. Able to make it across intact there. Marksman taking some shots maybe towards Green Theft Auto position there. Wicked Hex making some movements here. Steven repositioning, come in from behind. You don't think it, but the center street is one of the more powerful positions to attack from onto this objective, and the most often capped on, or the direction of attack where you'll see a cap as well.
It's actually really hard to get lines from defense onto that center street.
You don't think it though.
You can do it from some quite close locations, like those bars just to the south of the center street. But actually getting a line established onto it can be quite hard. VR Marksman's position can't really see it. Distorted's position can't really see it until later in the round. Someone on the north side of the street can't really see it. So yeah, you really need to push someone out further west, which is where they had Rypick, but he got picked early on. He was on the south street though. Maybe not where he was intended to be.
A tough one. Animal House definitely in a great position to challenge Raptors for this point and bring this up to a 3-3 if they're able to do so. If they do lose this one, Raptors will come up ahead and 4 points. They'll win this series. We will still play map 3 for MMR regardless, but there's a lot on the line for Animal House right now.
They're very risky to a cap here. If Distorted goes down, there's no one really in a position to rotate to cover the north side tank cap. Marksman can, but it's going to take him a few seconds.
Wow, he's getting really far away, and Def Redux also very far away. Interesting. I think Animal House has the winning approach here to get onto objective and apply that pressure. Some utility, some smokes were used, no rotations happened. I think Animal House was going for a bit more of the safe play there. Def Redux able to get a pick onto Steven in the south there. Missed that Marsoc player going around. Sorry about that, guys, but let's see what happens. Distorted calls across. Soldiers should activate upon this knowledge here. We'll be aware that movement is coming out. Green Theft Auto goes down, and now Lipinski putting some suppressive fire. Soldiers getting a little aggressive here, trying to get a pick onto any kind of quick rotation from the likes of Lipinski, who is now on the backside there. Soldiers just missing, choosing to rotate. Meanwhile, Wicked Hex is close to objective. Yeah, just right around the corner. Distorted, his main opposition, goes down in a trade, and now Wicked Hex being down is all up to Lipinski. It's going to be a tough one to come from, especially as they know exactly where this position is. If their kill count is good, it's going to be very, very tough. Soldiers taking quite a cheeky little peek through the gap between this wall and the other wall, but not able to quite get the shot onto Lipinski that he wanted. And now Lipinski opting to go for a bit of a rotation here, maybe catch any rotating player that comes off the backside of the objective there, and maybe checks around or gets into another position. But this is a tough one.
There's definitely a cheeky peek, and might I say, some poor craftsmanship. Generally, you'd want to finish that off a little bit better. Though to be fair, there is a falling down wall right next to it. I feel like the critical point in this round was Green Theft trying to cross in front of Distorted without trying to take him out. If that had gone the other way, they would had 2 players near objective plus 1 in the north. Green Theft knew he was there as well. Distorted had just shot at Flipinski. It's not over, but 3v1 with the person semi-knowing where they are is going to be a massive ask.
I feel like once you're the last one up and they know your position on this one, especially over in the northeast, you get hemmed in. The possibility of flanks becomes high, and the defenders can get in such good defensive positions that even if you're able to push through Soldier's position, in this case, it gets, the repick will come out very, very shortly after that.
Lipinski's one potential. I'll continue the sentence, even though it's all over. Nicely done, Raptors, winning the series. I feel like there was one approach that could have worked, which would be Flipinski coming along this wall here, which we have seen done in a few matches. If you come along this wall, you can come down onto objective, and the only person to deal with it was Marksman, which he has to deal with it immediately as the player is there for the cap. But ultimately, Raptors win. And we go to Snow Peak.
Snow Peak, I'm not surprised to see this one. This is a map that I think Raptors would do really well on. And them being home, they get to choose 2 maps, while the away team in Animal House gets to choose 1. They do have to play a little bit more to Raptors' tempo here, and Raptors feeling good after 2 map wins, securing them the series, but now it's down to the MMR. Who's gonna, how much are you gonna win? How much are you gonna lose? Both of these teams need to continue playing at their peak performance in order to maximize their gains or minimize their losses. So we're gonna still see some explosive action here, even after the series was decided. And this is this map is just so much fun to play and to watch. You got the close objectives like in the cave and
So much
tunnel.
variety.
Yeah, and then you got those longer ones in the bases, the north and the south base. And then even some in the middle, from like the shack objective, for example. I always have fun watching this one, and I'm really, really excited to see what these teams bring. A lot of varied tactics as well. There's not really one winning strategy, I think, on any of these objectives. So it should be a good match here, guys. So let's just wait and see what happens here. Just waiting for the last member to make it in to the lobby before we get right back on it. And they're in.
So we talked about maps we might see Raptors pick. I thought maybe they'd go Subway if they won map 2 for a bit more, just mainly because I like to see Subway. So I was a little bit hopeful.
You're letting your personal feelings decide what they're picking. I feel some psychology in here, James. We were just talking about this.
But yeah, Snow Peak is a smarter pick for Raptors. You're right.
Oh man. All right, let's.
This objective's a great one as well.
Oh, forgot to select the map even. We'll do that once we get into the scoreboard again. But
they're round resetting.
Oh, thanks, guys. I needed to fix that, so appreciate it.
They all committed suicide rather than someone knifing everyone, so I have large levels of sadness.
Let's put that map on the board there. We all knew what it was, but we didn't see it. We didn't see it, and we want to see it. So let's grab Snow Peak here. Snow Peak. Boom. Look at that beautiful little image there. Snow Peak is such a nice looking map.
They're doing a group hug in Marsok. South here.
They left a little too early for that one.
Marksman's got a close quarters rifle.
Well, I mean, with this objective, can you really blame him?
Yes, always.
It's your fault, Markson. I heard my name.
You just heard your name too. I don't know what he said there.
I don't know what he said either.
If anyone did it, it was Mono, so I assume something poor.
Something good.
Maybe like
You typoed
capping.
your word. I almost capped. Anyways, let's push on to what's happening now. Marksman and Def Redux taking position through the mid tunnels here, waiting for any kind of rotation. And if they're not careful, they might get caught out by Silent Knight, who has a great position, just watching for any player that moves into the tunnel too quickly without checking all their corners. Some utility coming out here, unfortunately getting caught on the wall here, and Marksman will be ready, but not enough for Silent Knight, who has a very good aggressive push onto his position. Def Redux getting the refrag there, but nonetheless blunting this push.
Very pushed out defense. And again, we saw this on Quarantine, similar sort of defensive style, all pushing out as individuals. In that case, a 1v1 trade probably would say goes attacking advantage, because now they've got a player who's got a line through to the objective, and the offense has to rotate back to cover it.
Oh, Wicked Hex just looking the wrong way at the wrong time as Soldiers comes around. And honestly, yeah, it was a pushed out defense, but that's something you will not expect on this. You would not expect it. I don't think anyone would expect it.
Pushed out, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy pushed out. And, you know, sometimes those kind of positions can work really well for you. Meanwhile, Steven putting some shots towards objective here. Very sparse defense, obviously, with so many players out and about. They close in fairly poorly defended there, but Green's coming back.
Only two remaining, so they've lost the other three. So
yeah,
this objective's a hard ask with 2 up. There's so many approaches, so many ways which the attack can get really close before they engage you, but also they have those long clearing lines from the north and from the south. Green Theft's position is very hard to identify unless you have night vision though from the north, but he's given away a spot by shooting. There is no night vision in the north, no night vision.
Ooh, Def Redux nearly getting caught by Steven, but not able to quite make it. Soldiers getting a pick as well. Raptors getting the first point on the board for map number 3.
Great finish, good timing, good communication between the northern players, Soldiers, and was it right pick up there in the north with them? No, must be Def Redux. Yeah, good execution. A couple of quick trades either way at the start, and then the roll through execution from the Raptors onto the objective, very well executed.
I'll tell you what though, I think that defense from Animal House had a good chance there. Just some unfortunate peaks. Wicked Hex kind of looking towards, I think that maybe there was kind of a fight going on in the cargo building, whatever you want to call it, supply building around roughly the same time.
Lipinski had also pushed out there as well.
Yeah, and there was just kind of a little bit of target fixation there. If he was watching back towards Soldiers, I think he would have got the pick and defended that side, and then get on a good fight with, I believe it was Def Redux, he said. But really, when you do those pushes, you get farther and farther out from objective. You get more spread out from your team. It gets a lot harder to really defend one another. You play a lot more of a individualistic game, something we've been talking about mostly in map 1, I think it was. But sometimes that really works out, and you have the kind of like element of surprise on your side. And that's what a team like Animal House really excels at. They're really always able to keep you guessing. We've seen a lot of the slower play from them this game, but then they switch it up, play a bit more aggressive, and again, just keeps you guessing, and that's what you need to do really well once you get to the higher MMR.
Definitely on the cards that there could be a cap here. This is one where you smoke it up, you can get onto objective, you can cap from the south side of this crate on the objective. You can cap. We've seen just caps in smoke on objective on this one. Great one. I think it was by boss fight against beginners. We've been capped on this objective. Oh.
Who hasn't? This is a tough one. I think this and the supply room are some of the most hectic battles that you're going to see. We'll have to see what happens here. Wicked and Steven going a little bit slow coming up. through the south side here. None of the players opting to go too aggressive on the defense to try and deal with them. Instead, letting them come in closer, into the kill box.
Well, there's one aggressive defense.
Well,
Talking
yeah,
about
up in the
a
north,
a
though.
north push out. So that is a north push out there. Nice.
Ooh, Silent Knight trying to get Soldiers, but not quite able to get him from behind this cover here. Soldiers peeking out, putting some shots on range, not quite able to do it. Green Theft Auto and Silent working together to overwhelm Soldiers and get that pickup there. An excellent push from them. And Lipinski as well, creating pressure on the other side.
I think they got him
Okay, it's clear.
in that crack between those two
Oh,
barrels.
it didn't save, man. It didn't save. Let's see what's happening over here. Marksman desperately trying to stop this. And gets down by a great grenade from Stephen. Marksman.
He had a martyrdom and grenade.
Oh my.
Wicked
my.
should
I think I
be
did it too early,
coming to
but,
confirm that though.
Oh boy, that was too good. A little distracted here. Wicked in a great place to try and maybe get a pick on the Def Redux. He's behind cover, and there's right pick as well, but he's just gonna continue his push. No res today. Lipinski creating a lot of pressure. Maybe he feels that the aggression is on, and we're gonna work out for him. Wicked
wow.
getting all the picks here at the end there and bringing this up to a 1-1.
If that had gone if the defender there had not moved, and if Rypick had been spotted by the person in the south and had a couple of shots put at him, that would have completely pivoted the defense. But the defender moved, got picked, and then Rypick, obviously. That split-second difference.
Did you see
1-1.
that beautiful headshot, though? He snapped on to his head, immediately took him out, moved into Rypick.
Yeah, it was
excellent.
great attacking
play,
line.
yeah. And that's interesting. That's interesting that he didn't go for the res. He instead felt that it was critical that he support Lipinski's push into the objective.
Yeah. I probably would have gone for the res. Especially with 6 minutes. Like, you had quite a lot of time remaining. You can pause your attack, but obviously it was the right decision. It worked, but sometimes having that extra support person from the south does make the difference.
Right.
We do have the other inside objective, so 2 short objectives to start Snowpeak off. Quite like a short objective start to Snowpeak, and then a couple of nice longer ones to control the end a bit more.
You just like to get their blood boiling and then shoot them when they run through the open. Bloodlust on their mind, trying to go for that cap.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's definitely been quite a few crazy pushes across the lake in Snowpeak's time, that's for sure. I'm hoping we'll see something like that.
Oh yeah. I hope we see 7 rounds on Snowpeak. It's so interesting to watch. What attacking spawn do we have? We have the garage spawn. The easternmost spawn. Medium sort of distance to objective. There is a closer one in the northwest-ish, north-central region. This does allow the defense to push out a little bit if they choose to.
Yeah, I was going to bet that we were going to see some aggressive push through the tunnels. And we might still from Green Theft Auto, but no, it looks like he's going to just take up position on the barrels here, maybe catch any player that gets too aggressive pushing down these tunnels. But instead, Animal House playing quite tight, staying in the objective room for the most part with a few roamers here and there and the likes of Lipinski, but overall staying very close to objective.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would have liked to see... We've seen some really effective pushes out into the tower on the northeast corner of the lake by defense. It's risky at the start, but if you do get there, you can hold lines which are very much unexpected, and that person would be about to engage potentially 3 people coming up. But yeah, the compressed defense, I quite like the compressed defense as well. Less chance of getting capped on, which is always good.
We'll
You know,
have to
this-
see what happens when we see a defensive style like this. It tends to be bloody, quick, and dirty as everybody comes in at the same time. Utility is thrown, and everyone just puts it down and hopes it goes in their direction. Ooh,
Yeah,
look
I
at
feel like
Wicked
this objective
Hex.
is maybe a little bit attacking bias, as they can really control the tempo of how they deal with that final approach. And they can, using things like smokes and frags, they can really work their way in. But if the defense can shut down those first couple of attackers on that really timed push, it can result in it swinging very rapidly the other way. Obviously. Oh, we have Marksman pushing up, ready to engage Wicked Hex shortly.
Yeah, Wicked, hearing those gunfire, getting
Frag.
a little interested, pops up
Flash.
and gets a shot onto Marksman. Utility coming out right behind him, putting a flash. Will he go offensive? 2 flashes thrown out here. Instead, looking like he's opting to go into a new defensive kind of ambush spot.
Great defense.
Yeah, that's what I
Perfect.
like to see, yeah. Meanwhile, Distorted getting pretty close in the hallway here. Green Theft Auto giving some call-outs. Possibly heard by Distorted. Maybe a tad on the close side there, but we'll have to see what he does here as he continues to inch forward here. I think I see him scanning for some C4 here. Very, very common to see it on top of these kind of aircon pipes. Or some other stuff. He pops out, getting quite aggressive there. Green Theft Auto coming around, able to get a shot into his gut there. Good peek from him. Meanwhile, the rest of the push is happening. The aggression is on. Smokes are being deployed, although a little bit short. Actually going to be pretty painful for them. Wicked X just holding position, letting his friendly come around to defend him. Meanwhile, Right Pick getting a pick onto Silent Night as he rushes out into the smoke. Wicked Hex very, very close here, though, and Soldier's able to take him out as well. And this defense down to 3, but still more than the attackers. Only Right Pick and Soldiers left. Gonna have to make do with what they got. It's aggressive, violent fights going on for this doorway, and instead Soldiers opting to go for a bit of a rotation, maybe catch any of those defenders that might get a little peeky, a little rotation-y. Come around the corner, and Mono makes up new words, but we'll just have to see.
It's going to come down to kill count. If they know there's only 2 attackers up here, they should just keep these compressed positions and wait. Force the attackers to do a move. A lot of utilities being used already. Soldiers then throwing another smoke.
Ooh, Soldier or Right Pick just narrowly. He was about to go in there. Smoke thing thrown on the objective. But I like this defense. We see a triangle. All these players are covering one another. Right Pick putting some shots downrange onto Green Theft Auto, just narrowly missing him there. Soldiers, meanwhile, coming around the backside, getting in the building, trading with Opinski, bringing this to a 2v1, and Steven able to trade with Right Pick and giving Animal House their second point.
Come here, baby.
That was closer than I thought it was going to be. Animal House definitely had the upper hand early in the round. They gave it back by sort of over pushing some locations, losing a couple of players. But yeah, in the end, that good tight defense, obviously holding. I think a defensive hold on this objective is probably less common than an attacking win. I feel like I see a lot of attacks win on this objective. So Animal House would definitely be liking that.
I'll tell you what, once you get through the danger zone, you get through the door or the tunnel, whatever you do, if you can get through there and get into a spot that they don't expect, all the players are kind of just watching the points of egress, where they're coming in, where they're going out. And once you get in there, you can really get quite a few picks before they realize what's going on. Players have to stop watching what they're doing, and quickly the chaos happens. They have to rotate, they have to move, they're worried about a quick cap. What looks like an impenetrable defense can quickly be shattered by a good attacking team's smart aggression through the use of utility. And I think that's generally how it ends up happening.
Not just attacking teams, we've seen attacking individuals completely take out your 3 and 4 man defenses on this objective. Notably, I believe it was in the last Raptors game I saw on this, was Peacekeepers versus Raptors maybe on this, where Virus was the last one up against 3 Raptors defenders and made his way inside and did exactly that. He got inside and the rotations out of the defense just resulted in a pick, then another pick, then another pick. And Virus came out on top. I'm not sure if it was Raptors now that I think about it, but it's definitely Peacekeepers. But yeah, as you talk about, it's just getting through that threshold is the critical point.
Meanwhile, Raptors, instead opting for a bit more of an aggressive defense, a little bit of blossoming out here. Def Redux going down the tunnel, and Rypic watching towards the west for any of those quick pushes. But now Distorted and Redux are going to have to work together here to try and counter this very strong Man 5 defense as they come around and through the tunnels here. We're going to see who comes out on top. As I say that, they instead choose to go through the tunnel and then come out through the middle. But you never know. Marksman is in a good position to passively hear them as they come up here from Wicked Hex. Coming around the corner here, Wicked pretty much aware that this position is pretty common. Marksman getting a little aggressive, coming around the top, able to get that pickup on the Wicked Hex, having to deal with, he's backing up, grabbing his tablet, but it was hard. It was the pinch came in. Now Distorted putting some shots down, not quite able to cover green, or not green, but Marksman, but doing his best to push back this offense. But a beautiful grenade from Steven, able to down Distorted, although they probably don't know that. Good grenade though.
Right, grenade.
Yeah, I knew you would be pleased.
Fantasy grenade.
Wow.
Yeah, just Marksman getting a bit caught out going on his radio straight away after getting that first pick. And that location was not a location where he could really rotate out of. And then Distorted, unable to get into a protected spot to defend. Obviously the nade, great way to get out to kill a player who is trying to hide behind a box.
I really like this teamwork that we saw from Steven and Green Theft. They didn't know he was down, so they thought he was up, and they were working together to pinch on top of him. They were attacking at the same time. Really, really good teamwork from these teams. Although Steven nearly team kills as I say that. That's just the nature of it, though, right? You know? Rypic cluing in that there's some attackers coming in here. He's got a good line here, and if Green Theft peeks this without being aware, he could have his head cut off. But as I say that, Rypic rotates off.
Just checking in on Flipinski up in the northwest. He's having a grand old time in the snow.
Steven and Rypic come around in the corner. Steven able to get the pick onto Rypic there. Good support from Green Theft Auto. A hail of gunfire coming their way. Smoke coming out, distracting, putting some fire, or prompting some fire from soldiers. And unknown to him, Steven and Green Theft Auto are already on the move and coming around a different flank.
North and join up with Flipinski.
They're probably going to see, like, what are you doing, Lipinski? Where are you?
They're like attacking onto the objective for the last couple of minutes, and Flipinski's like, doo doo doo. It's nice. To be fair, if the defense had been how they'd set up initially, they were very pushed out, and it's the right thing to be cautious. I thought I was going to see a team kill potentially there. Steven's gun flickered onto Flipinski for just a moment.
Steven's got the bloodless, man. You can't blame him. He's been doing really well and getting a lot of good picks here. Still alive to tell the tale as well. Smoke coming out perfectly placed right on the doorway, stopping Def Redux from taking any kind of accurate shots. All these shots are just through the smoke, trying his best, and the attacking team putting a lot of gunfire right back onto his position. Unfortunately for Def Redux,
just made it inside.
Oh, crap. Oh my. Green Theft getting that pick on the soldiers, and he is inside. And Def Redux here desperately trying to defend the objective, but all Green Theft had to do was just wait for that rotation to come from him, just exactly like we were talking before.
Got inside. They let him get inside. It was really well done. That distraction was like perfectly executed. Green Theft was able to make it through. The defenders were too focused on all that fire, all that smoke. Yeah, another intense round. Heart rate still up. what are your thoughts out of that round? You can do some analysis out of that one.
I think it was a really great attack from Animal House. They worked together. There was a lot of teamwork, some excellent grenade play, I might say. Really, that's the power of utility. Able to down the player, stop him from being able to trade. Very powerful. And then they pushed around, Steven coming around the backside, pushing on the front side, while his partner, who was it? Green? Was it Green? Or was it
Green
Wicked?
came in from the east side. And
Yeah, working
Lipinski was
together
with,
though.
Steven.
Right, yeah, they worked together to really push and cover their weaknesses. And then they used smoke on the door. Really, 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 really good because they forced soldiers to be fixated on it and also give away his position. And they just got all the information they needed to figure out that, hey, the north approach was the best. And they were able to pull inside there, get that pick, and just wait for the last player to come out. And sometimes having that information is more powerful than having your rifle. Getting that information to your team, forcing the enemy team to really expose themselves, can be all you need to give the rest of your team the opportunity they need to get those safer picks than you just going straight head on.
Now, do you reckon you're going to see a flank push along the eastern side of the lake? Or a lake cross from the defense?
No, I think they're going to play it tight, but that didn't really count because you didn't give me enough time to say it. Yeah, it took too long. Yeah, we won't count that. We won't count that. But honestly, I don't think Animal House 3 points up. They want to win this. They want to win this. And also, I want to point out as well that Marksman being on the enemy team is very, very scary. If you get too peeky there, even Silent Night here is at risk, I'd say. Marksman is just across the way. We'll have to see if Silent can notice it.
Definitely watching that line as well. Look at the line Marksman is watching here. He's ready for those flanks down through that east.
Right, yeah. You can see he's got his trusty M39, got the 12 times on, and he is looking very close to where Silent would be, although he can't see through the wall like we can.
I feel like he saw Silent just then. I thought I saw crossing of lasers across the map, so Silent might have just peeked that slightly.
He was definitely peeking it earlier, that's for sure. Distorted as well, has a laser just kind of coming up and over his position every now and again. We're gonna have to see what happens. Green Theft Auto possibly also could be a threat or a victim. We'll have to see. I bet we're going to see a scope on Def Redux, and we do. We actually have a 4 times as well. Some preliminary fire from Silent Night, firing down towards Distorted's line, but giving his position away. And there's something to be said about that, as now Marksman and Def will have information to play with on where they need to look. Meanwhile, in the center, we got Soldiers, who's made it all the way up past the bunker here, in a position to throw some really, really long-range grenades. Not able to get anybody, but again, getting that information, knowing that nobody's on that kind of back hillside defense that you do see from teams. And with that information, he should know that he can kind of push up here a little bit more freely and maybe get a pick from the tower. Ooh, Distorted gets a nice shot down towards Silent, yeah.
Where was that from? Defense... Across the map?
Yeah, he was on in that corner.
Way across.
Yeah.
Great shot.
Some excellent marksmanship, if I do say so myself.
With a Marquee team with holographic as well.
Yeah.
Just seeing someone in the dark back there, let alone shooting them, is impressive.
Absolutely the case here. Right pick, though, in the north. Able to get a nice pickup onto Green Theft Auto, defending from the objective area. Steven holding steady here, but getting called out, I think. And Wicked Hex also exposing his arm there. If Right pick able to catch vision on that, it could be deadly for him, but it's just a little bit out of frame for Right pick.
Critical one for Animal House to try and hold as well, because it plays into the arms of Raptors on defense. The Raptors defense on this, their more controlled supporting lines will work really well for them. So Animal House hopefully here will still hold with their last remaining. Hopefully for them, obviously.
Raptors doing an excellent job communicating. Everybody's calling out the positions they see, and they're just walking in the rounds, walking in, keeping them just stuck behind the box, unable to actually defend. Meanwhile, we got a flank coming from the lake in Distorted, making it across. Def Redux as well, starting to push across here. But Lipinski, a pretty typical spot on the backside of this wall, able to catch anybody coming in from the docks. But if he goes down, it's going to be bad news bears for the defenders here. I mean, even rotating to trying to defend could get you killed from Soldiers and Right Pick, who has excellent lines onto these defenders. Distorted picking up Wicked Hex. C4 coming out. Yeah, nice. Picking up Distorted, but will he expose himself getting this pick? We'll have to see. Nope. Meanwhile, the attack is coming in hot and heavy. 1:20 seconds left on the clock. The attackers are not wasting any time. They are pushing up. They are near objective. The res comes out. Distorted, Def, Redux coming in from the back. Marksman, and I believe Soldiers coming in from the other side. Lipinski going down to Def. Flash coming out. Marksman running up onto objective, but Steven able to stop that one. But last man up, not able to defend from all these different attacking angles. And Raptors getting another point on the board.
Very well executed attack. We've seen it from Raptors all night. On these longer objectives, they get that encirclement, they tighten the noose, and then they come in very well supporting each other. And there wasn't much Animal House could do there. There's too many lines to watch.
My favorite part of that attack was Marksman just running straight at him and be like, "Hey, give your position away."
Exactly. It's a
you need
very
that play,
good,
right?
Yeah, it's a legitimate strategy to do, and there has to be someone willing to sacrifice their KD to find out where that last player is, especially when you have 5 attackers up. Worst thing you can do is, get too close and have that dude swing around and take out 2 or 3 of you. So having one just run in whilst everyone else is, in a position ready to capitalize on it, great thing to do.
Absolutely the case here, but now we'll be switching this red on up. Animal House will be attacking now. A tough one. I think a tough one to attack, especially compared to some of the other ones we've seen earlier today in the supply and into the kind of caves. I think the only harder one than this, well, I'd say it would be the shack, the south base, and then the north base. As far as hardest to defend goes, what would you say?
Hardest to defend.
There's also the cave. Well, yeah.
I hate
that's hard.
I think defending the north one is the north. Whatever you call it, that little warehouse thing is very hard. Man, there's some hard to defend. Well, I feel like defending the outside ones.
I kind of want to change my answer now.
Yeah, I feel like the inside ones are harder to defend, and you're more exposed to caps. But there's more chance for you to do like a little flank and take out a bit of their team. This attacking spawn is my preferred spawn personally.
You kind of control the tempo a bit more.
Yeah, and Rypick should get picked here. Oh no, they know where he is. Soldiers has made it around behind them.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. If Wicked goes a little bit too aggressively here, he's going to get pinched by the likes of Marksman and Soldiers. But not before he gets a pick onto Right Pick, who decided to run across the lake there and
the middle of
get
the
punched
lake,
for it.
I feel like his position near the jetty there, along that side, was actually really powerful. But electing to try and make it to the bunker, maybe?
Ooh, one shot, one down, and then the kill.
That's what I like to see from Marksman.
I've been expecting this push from Wicked for a long time, and it's just not coming. Oh, now it comes. Now Soldiers has his opportunity to shine here, just catches a whiff of Wicked, and gets him.
Who's going to finish it off? Looks like no one.
Don't lose your kill. Don't lose your kill now. Soldiers getting that confirmed. Steven and Lipinski just continuing to put rounds down. Ranged marksman coming out unfazed by all this fire coming out. Instead with bloodlust for the kill.
Green Theft's still working his way around to the southwest. So potentially that northern attack coming a little bit prematurely. It wasn't really aligned with Green Theft's approach. However, it is aggressive enough that it may be distracting the defense. Though Green Theft is going slow through this area.
Everybody has to stop by the shop, the base shop, and pick up some goodies before they head out.
True,
And,
true.
right.
It's true.
You got to get some candies.
Gotta get some snacks, you know.
Right.
It's cold out. You gotta use more energy when it's cold. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Def Redux here continuing to just do these little peaks. Steven not quite able to get him and forced to pull back just a tad as Def Redux put some shots down range.
Who is watching the southwest?
I don't know.
Green Theft gave away his position though, so that will force a little bit of a rotation, but there was no one watching it.
Steven goes down as well at the same time. Now it's just up to this two-man team, but against 3 players, definitely possible.
I think Green Theft's the critical person here. If he comes in from the southwest and stops giving away his position by shooting, then he potentially could make it right onto objective.
Lipinski called out to did a little bit of communication, and I think soldiers might have heard him. It was definitely almost close enough at the very least. But Lipinski now in the bunker trying to get some picks, but pretty hard one to get picks from, except for maybe on the southwest side of the objective, if they choose to go on that wall or in the tower. But Raptors really just need to hold tight. Let them make those crosses. Let them get in the open and expose themselves. They need more information. And Soldiers definitely knows where Lipinski is now.
They've elected to... They must have a very good kill count of the location. Because Distorted right now is completely exposed to the northeast. So they must know that where the 2 remaining attackers are. Ooh, he takes a hit.
Lipinski getting a little too mouthy there instead of focusing on the battle at hand, getting it taken out by the likes of Soldiers, who is ready for that push out, playing very, very cautiously. Excellent play from him, not getting too aggressive and instead pushing the advantage that he had.
Green Theft for a while talking to himself over the radio. I hate it when that happens. You're talking along and then you look at your tablet afterwards and realize, oh.
They did the rude thing and dying while you're trying to have a conversation.
How dare they die whilst I'm talking to them?
Right? Now Green Theft Auto, last member up of Animal House, gonna have to do what he calls the impossible. Make this a win on the board with almost less than a minute left on the clock here, only 5 seconds. And that minute, some shots coming out, long shots, single fire, not able to quite connect, and his position is known. And now he's going to have to do the suicidal run across the lake. And I don't feel good for him. I have to say. What do you do here, James?
Die.
Perfect. Okay. Fair
Green
enough.
did exactly what I expected. I don't think there were no options. He had 45 seconds left. He really had to run across the lake. The opportunity to attack really was when there was 4 minutes remaining, and he had that southwest control, and that he had his teammates really pushing the northeast. That was the opportunity to move across the lake. Then, obviously, we could see it in cast division, but I feel even in the game, like you'd probably tell that there is that pressure coming in from the northeast, especially once he picked VR Marksman, to make you move then. Even if it was a 1v1 situation, he was just too far out to be effective in that last minute.
A tough one. A tough one.
Oh,
and,
definitely. Oh, wow. Massively tough. You know, 1v3 is, you know, it's almost never going to go your way, especially on this objective. But, you know, there were just some opportunities which could have swung it, is all I'm saying. And we see all those opportunities, obviously, in cast vision. It has to be taken with grains of whatever you want to take it with, but yeah.
hot sauce. No?
Hot sauce? Grains of... I'm just trying to compute what a grain of hot sauce would be.
Maybe grains
is that a
with
chili
hot
flake?
sauce on it. Yeah.
Grains
Okay. That's good. Yeah. Have you ever just had chili flakes?
I use chili flakes in cooking. But
Maybe just
I've
do you eat
probably
the
just
raw
tried one
ingredients
before.
though?
Not as a habit, strangely enough.
Oh come on. Come on. You know I've sensed the guiltiness in that voice there.
This is getting way too close to home. Let's talk about this objective.
Do you not live
We
on a
talked about-
Russian base?
Listen, we talked about objectives which you don't really like defending, and this was one of them you mentioned, the southwest hangar. I actually quite like defending this one.
I
really-
don't want to say I don't like defending it. I'm just saying it ends up being dicey more often than not.
It can be dicey, yeah. I feel like this is one where a defensive push out by a player or two can really pay off, because there's those big hills you can sort of skirt your way around and come to the side of the attackers down through that southeastern corridor.
Whoa!
Green theft,
Green theft, yeah, just barely. He doesn't know it, but just barely he's being alive there. His distorted laser was going all over him for a short second there. But, you know, when you don't have that shot, don't take it. Don't take it. Don't give your position away. It's valuable information.
What you do there is you pull back and say, "Marksman, please take the shot."
Marksman takes a shot.
Marksman. Where's Marksman in his normal northeast position?
I think
Yes,
he's
he is.
going long on trying to get those long shots across the lake, but I was going to say I don't think they're going to peak that, but they have two
Looks like they're
players
about
kind of.
Could see a great shot here.
That is blocking me. All right, so right pick, kind of peeking on this hill here, maybe trying to catch a glimpse onto the likes of Lipinski, but Lipinski staying low, shouldn't be spotted. From right pick here, Soldiers doing the same thing, but on the opposite kind of peak here. Just trying to get those picks early, trying to catch those players before they know that the attackers are in range of them, so to say. And Animal House doing a good job of not getting picked off, sitting in good defensive positions where they should be in control of the flow of battle.
Yeah, the one location I'd say is maybe a bit exposed is Green Theft, who we've seen getting shots taken him already. Is he exposed?
what
to
do you
north
do,
as well?
though?
Ooh,
How
it's
do you
pretty
get
tight.
out?
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if you can. You can just back out potentially.
You'd be exposed now. I think the opportunity for that is past, and now Def Redux
Yeah.
running through the open. If only Green Theft Auto was looking over in that direction, but alas, that's the nature of Onward, right? You're always looking the wrong way at the wrong time here. Long frag coming in here, hitting a car, marring the paint, but not hitting any of the defenders.
That is a strong vehicle.
Yeah, just, I mean, it's Russian made, man. It's been around for generations. What happens now? That is the question. We got one player in Marksman across the lake trying to get those picks. But again, nobody really exposing for that. They're all kind of sitting on the backside of this hill, actually. Take a look at Wicked Hex here.
Yeah, it's a little
Really
divot here. It's
interesting.
quite nice. It's quite a nice little spot.
Yeah, you can pop over, defend for the lake, and you can also look back on objective. I actually like this quite a bit.
It looks
So
like
is-
they are trying to work a way to try and take out Green Theft. So I saw Soldier's laser go across him just before, but he's now pulled off the line. So he just missed the line onto him, unfortunately. So they may have thought that he's pulled back, which could be devastating for Distorted and Right Pick right now.
Definitely the case. And Green Theft goes down to a trade with Rypick. I think at least Distorted should be able to see that body and know that it was a trade, but not so much for Animal House. I don't think that they're going to know necessarily what went down, but when you hear that quick, like 1-2 round burst, and no more than that, it's often pretty easy to know that that was probably a trade.
Yeah, normally if this player's still alive, they're going to shoot a few more rounds off.
Wicked Hex getting a pick on the marksman as he pushed across there. Soldiers coming around the corner here, trading with Silent Knight. Silent Knight only down, but maybe not for long with that Redux coming around the corner here. Wicked Hex doing his best to defend his teammate, stop that aggression from Redux, and then if he's able to do that, it will also end up being a res. So this is critical. This is critical, and now he's dead. Silent Dead is dead, being shot through the wall, maybe being a little bit too loud there. A lot of utility coming from Wicked,
Flash.
and yeah, the Flash doing its work.
Yeah. It's
Raptors,
all up to, who is it all up to?
Distorted.
Distorted in the south, the captain. Is he going to go for the res?
He
Looks
only
like
has a
he's
minute
gonna-
left.
Nope. He's dead.
He only has death left. And
Great
Animal House is
finishing.
going to pick this up. They win the third map there. An excellent return to form there. Right at the end, showing that Raptors can't just take it away. And even on a map that they're not necessarily keen to play, they can make it work. And they did an excellent job here. Really awesome to see what they came up with, and some really unconventional defensive positions as well. I want to say that I think really threw Raptors through a loop. So really good work there.
Definitely, that map win will help a lot in the MMR loss. Obviously, Raptors being a lot higher ranked as well will mean that it's a lot less loss by Animal House. But overall, I'm just happy I saw 7 rounds of Snowpick. There's some amazing play.
You predicted it. You predicted
7
it
rounds of
on
Snowpick.
point. Yeah. Any other thoughts on maybe the series as a whole, or that last map there?
Series as a whole, I think there was a couple of points. It was very close, and some rounds, were very dominant by certain teams. But overall, you say this, there were some rounds there which just were decided upon, one kill one way or one movement one way. So it's great to see this sort of play at the top level. And yeah, ultimately Raptors doing really well, coming up with the win. A couple of good caps in there. We certainly saw
I think we saw one cap.
Bazaar.
One cap.
One cap on Bazaar. But yeah,
Some close ones though too. I mean, nail
really
biters.
close ones.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, really, really, really glad we picked up this match, and thanks to everyone who came along and watched. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also remember, guys, there's probably some games still going on right now. We had, I think, 3 casts going at the same time. We had Pig, our new caster to the caster team, along with Sky Joker running cams on OML 3. And we have Etch on number 2, running Violence of Action versus Cataclysm. So some good matches for you guys to head on over to and watch. This has been Raptors versus Animal House, brought to you by Monorchid and my co-caster JamesBowk, my beautiful co-captain. We'd also like to thank the VR Master League for providing the format for these teams that are playing today, the moderators, the sponsors, and to you guys. Thanks for coming along. We appreciate you watching through the round with us and seeing these teams battle it out. Until next time, have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, everyone.